All right, good evening, everyone. This is Florida Man Does Weather, and we are going to be going over today the ongoing severe weather event that is happening in Oklahoma and Texas right now. Um, we are waiting. The big talk today has been the evolution and development of a massive Derecho that was supposed to form between southern Oklahoma and northern Texas, right about where this enhanced is. We've got some activity going on. We haven't seen that predominant bow form just yet. But the big talk right now, as we're going over this video at 8:10 p.m. Eastern, 7:10 Central, um, we have what could potentially end up, they just dropped the tornado warning, what would could potentially end up being a situation here. We have a supercell that is moving east towards Oklahoma City. Um, it is under a severe thunderstorm warning, winds of 70 miles an hour, hail of an inch and a half. They have downgraded from a tornado warning to a tour possible in the severe thunderstorm warning.
I
What's
think they
currently going,
reissue it.
they're going to reissue it because what's currently going on right now is this supercell is cycling. And so the old mesocyclone has occluded. It's being ejected out of the storm. The storm is trying to wrap a new one up. As you can see right here near Hinton, the tail end of the supercell is starting to wrap around and give it some time. This is going to kick back into a hook again, and this storm will continue moving east. The concern right now is for it looks like it will possibly be over Hinton before it develops anything. El Reno, Mustang, Oklahoma City, Valley Brook, Moore. These are all storms that are going to be in trouble, or these are towns that are going to be in trouble with this storm as it continues to move east. We are putting up posts on Facebook. So by the time you get this video reaches you guys, this storm will already be through. But Caleb is, as we speak, actively posting some warnings out for the Oklahoma City area. As you can see, the chasers are converging on the interstate leading into Oklahoma City. They know what's going on. So as we go through this video, we're going to keep referring back to this radar screen to just kind of keep an eye on that storm, see if we get a situation develop in real time as we're going over this um, this video as this situation unfolds. Caleb, before I hand off to you, I'm going to jump over real quick, and
Yeah, check out these other guys.
we're going to look at Frederick. We have some supercells that are currently tornado warned. One of a couple of them are tornado warned right now. It's really hard to see uh, radar wise with all of these outflow boundaries kicking and pushing around. As you can see, there's two really strong outflow boundaries just south of Frederick. Let me take the little crayon and draw them out. There's two big outflow boundaries right here being spat out. Those may help to initiate some stuff later. The only things that we're seeing in regards to consolidation right now, these guys right here, and they're semi-discrete still. They're not really operating as a giant entity. Um, you can almost see, not quite, there's almost like near Crowell in this severe storm, this tornado warning storm, you can almost see that there's a rear inflow jet trying to form, but it's currently being blocked by other cells. So it's not really going anywhere. There's cells behind that impeding its progress. So, I mean, we're still waiting. Um, as Caleb's about to show you, the parameters right now are absolutely off the charts. Um, there's been some really high wind gusts as high as 80 in some of these storms. 80, 90. I think there was one storm earlier with 90. Here's an 80 right here, a destructive threat with the Torpos. It's the Crowell storm. So
Baseball size tail.
yeah, so maybe the Crowell storm is going to be the start of this Derecho. We'll see. Does kind of have like a little bit of a Boeing signature. Like I said, that inflow jet's being blocked right now with the storms behind it. That being said, it's starting definitely to develop a bow. I mean, there's definitely a bow forming. The question is, will it suck the rest of that in and form a solid inflow jet? We're just kind of waiting to see. We'll bounce throughout this video. We're going to bounce between Oklahoma City and Frederick here to keep an eye on it. This may be the beginning of the party, but as of right now, I mean, we've had nothing so far. We should have probably already had a Derecho in progress at this point, and so far, this is the most consolidated we've seen. That being said, this crowel system is starting to form a bow. The question is this going to be what forms it? We haven't had any massive wind reports yet. We've had some gargantuan hail. There's already been grapefruit sized hail. The Maisonette's showing a 72-mile-an-hour gust. And that was 30 minutes ago with this same system. And right now it's currently indicated for 80 miles an hour with baseball sized hail. So we'll watch that. We'll see. Caleb, do you want to kind of go over the synoptics right now with us?
Yeah, so I'm gonna get the screen share going. So I've got the SPC mesoanalysis page going right now. I believe I have it on just 500 millibar winds. So there's that shortwave in the flow right here. And this is basically your mid-level speed max. This is what would be really propagating anything that would consolidate into a big Boeing segment. So as of right now, if this section is the one that consolidates and forms that larger bow echo signature with a big rear inflow jet, which would most likely set up somewhere more towards the upper middle portion because of that outflow kind of impinging southward. That would basically send it right into the southern end of the Dallas Fort Worth metro area. We could have a secondary bow set up back in here, and that might be the one to go. But overall, let's just take it as a stack. So we have one little issue with linear organization today is I feel like the low level wind fields are a little bit stronger than they were initially forecast. So we've got southeasterly 925 millibar winds. That's not very far off the ground, and I believe we still have fairly southeasterly surface winds at times out here. Yeah, very southeasterly down by all those tornado warnings, where the consolidation seems to be happening a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll just stack that up. So there's your southeasterly component closer to the ground, 850 millibar winds. You've got some areas of 20, 30 knots, occasionally embedded in with that. So you've got definitely some veering in the low levels. Then you've got southwesterlies at 700 millibars at about 25 to 15 knots throughout that area. And then we go up to 500 northwesterlies at 40 knots, 45 knots, a couple 50 knots in there as well. And then let's go to our jet streak. So we got a lot of divergence in the area right there where all that convection really blew up. And you've got, what is that? 60, 65, 70.
I'm seeing 80 right there.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So,
then, so of note, I don't mean to interrupt you, Caleb, but there's actually a pocket right in front of that developing cell system near Crowell. That's a 100 knot jet max right underneath the MGT. So it's going into like a hyper localized jet max right there. That might be the portion of the line that fires and just goes nuclear.
yeah, just for fun, let's look at the photograph map. So yeah, so low level hodograph curvature really wasn't supposed to be as ramped up as that is, especially right in there. That is why most of these are staying as discrete and semi-discrete supercells. So you've got just way more low level shear than was really anticipated, and it's kept this to mainly a supercellular mode at this point. But all the parameters overall, because of that stronger deep layer shear, is really maxed out. So this is your derecho composite parameter. Usually when this hits about a 4, you're looking at a likely derecho event at minimum, a very strong mesoscale convective system that might not just have strong enough gusts to classify as a derecho. But when you see a 10, that's like almost guaranteed. And that's back behind this, southwest of what is that? Amarillo, not southwest, southeast of Amarillo. But like I showed with that shear stack and then the hodograph map, your supercell parameters are very, very high right now. So
And that crowel cell is moving into that crowel cell is moving into a hyper localized pocket of a supercell composite of 20.
mhm. So that was right where that hodograph map showed that
Yes.
super looped depiction right there as well. So we might as well just do this while we're at it. So that right there, that screams tornadic to me.
Mm-hmm.
Tornadic supercell moving southeast. That's exactly what these are doing. These are just a collection of little right movers, both of those that are tornado warned. And instability is there in massive amounts. Let's just look at point values for fun. That's an error. So it's not zero. But
What's your environment looking at? That veering
uh,
profile is wild. That veering profile right
it's
there
not
is
going to show anything because it's picked up zeros everywhere. So let's
okay.
see if I just move it a little bit. That's
Oh, okay,
better.
there you go. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
You've got insane mixed layer capes.
Yeah.
This,
That's
let's see, QLCS in line. So this just goes off of climatology for the area. So if you were going to see line embedded tornadic stuff, your values are already pretty much way above even the maximum for the 12 cases that basically match climatologically with this one. But for discretes, we're right there. So that's just another thing showing you not enough for that. That's fine.
your
So
torch stats are off the charts. Yeah.
mhm. We'll go with our capes just for fun. So
Mm,
we have just a gigantic reservoir of cape. So out here is really where I would say your wind potential is kind of maxed, because with this amount of cape out there, your downdraft cape is going to be insane. And your downdraft cape is really a proxy for how strong your downdrafts can be. Um, Pretty much once you get into like the 800 joule per kilogram range in downdraft capes, that's when you're usually going to see like 50, 60 mile per hour winds. Once you get into the thousands like this is like hurricane force winds are very much in the cards here.
that's something of concern too with the Oklahoma City storm because if you look at the map, that Oklahoma City storm is going into a very tight gradient. By the time it
Hmm.
gets to OKC, it's looking at 1100 or so.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
so I
that's
mean,
that's
it's
just
already
if that doesn't move as well. So this
yeah,
this whole thing is going to advect and just kind of get taken out by wherever those storms go because obviously they're eating up the instability in the air. But
right.
even the RAP mesoanalysis shows almost a split cluster look, and it's initializing pretty well. So I think this is a fairly accurate depiction of what could happen.
Yeah.
But keep in mind that those shear vectors right now they're still very favorable for that low level looping hodograph as we saw. So I'm not 100% sure on if we're going to see one solid line. This might be two embedded Boeing segments with intense corridors of wind by themselves that
I can see
will,
that. Yes.
reverse generally southeast before maybe they merge and then just head straight into the Louisiana area, East Texas. So that'll be something to watch out for. But just for fun, let's look at our low level instability as well.
So Caleb, just an update. We just got a Mesonet reading of 74 near just south of Crowell, where
Hmm.
that supercell is definitely taking a bow shape.
Okay, so we're watching in real time that line segment form right there. So I do now think that this will be your guy to watch for your severe hurricane force winds, possibly even category 2 hurricane force wind gusts coming out of this. But Yeah, this has been a very impressive event so far, especially with the hail. These initial cells that popped up out here that are now down here. This when these first popped up, it was about three of them up in the Oklahoma Panhandle, like 4 hours ago or so, and they were within 15 20 minutes of forming, producing severe and significant hail, and then the furthest west one that is currently down around this area produced a little family of tornadoes by itself. It is now back to a more hail productive mode because it's a little bit clustered in with everything. But yeah, this is already a significant event as it stands. And if these really do end up clustering up and go in full linear mode, it's just going to get that much worse in terms of wind. So do we want to hop back to radar so we can
Yeah,
show
we
this
can
right
hop.
now?
Yeah, we can hop to radar real quick. Um,
Gotcha.
okay. Did that jump over?
Yeah, it says it's starting. There we go.
Okay. So as you can see, it's not a true bow. It is definitely starting to take that linear bow shape. As you can see by the long swath of purple starting to form. Um, this is that update that was just dropped. The Mesonet has recorded a 74 mile an hour wind gust at 010Z. That was 14 minutes ago, 7:14 p.m. Eastern, or 7:14 p.m. Central, 8:14 p.m. Eastern. And that would be 2 miles southeast of Truscott. So we've got some chasers down there right now. W or KAUZ. That's interesting. I've never seen a actual weather station. Uh,
Yeah, that's cool. I like that they
that's
did that.
that's cool. So we might be getting something from them. But as this right here, this 73.5 dBz, 70 dBz. There's some big hail coming down on the leading edge of this. I don't know about you, Caleb, but this is starting to get the look to me. These back cells are starting to clear out. Um,
Hmm.
they're starting to make room for an inflow jet. Um, yeah, I think this is going to be your first cluster. Yeah, you see, and then there's
Check
like these
that
front.
tornado report.
Say what?
Check that little funnel.
Funnel cloud by a train
Okay.
spotter. Um, Head funnel has dissipated. Um, yeah, I
So
mean,
that,
here's what I'm looking
yeah.
at from Benjamin down towards Rochester and Aspermont. You're starting to get that bridge, and yeah, like okay, you notice how it's all this back is starting to dissipate, and you're starting to get this clearing where you see the blues and the purples. This thing is starting to set up a rear inflow jet rather than nice. This is going to be your player,
Yeah, I agree. We're
and
watching a
as it
linear transition in real time right now.
and as it starts running, as this one starts running, it's going to end up catching up with the Jayton storms, and it'll end up absorbing them. Um, if you live, I'm trying to see, is that Knox City? That storm chaser is in the way. If you're in
Yeah,
Knox
Knox
City,
City.
O'Brien, Rochester, get ready. The party is just getting started.
Yeah, that tail end storm as well. That's going to be the one to watch for continued large to very large hail and tornado production, especially if it stays as a tail end. A lot of times, what tends to happen is those tail enders will remain with at least some supercell characteristics at times. Sometimes they'll be more outflow dominant, sometimes they'll be more inflow dominant, and there'll be a tornado producer attached to your Boeing segment basically, but it's shaping up right now. And then I'm gonna look back at that OKC storm.
I just checked
Uh,
the OKC storm before we switched over, and it's kind of struggling right now. It
yeah,
looks
okay,
like
that's good.
it looks like the focus of the show right now is going to be on this storm that's now, as you can tell too, the forward motion is significantly changing with this thing. It was near Crowell, and now it's almost to Benjamin. It's starting to get that movement. And then, like I said, that clear slot behind it, that inflow jet is clearing up rapidly. As you can tell, you've got the lighter peach colors near Crowell. That's that inflow jet. That's all being sucked into the back end of this storm. Um, yeah, this one's getting going.
Yeah, I agree right there.
We may see a high wind warning here within the next 10 minutes or so. There's
Putting
a
out a
new,
post real quick.
hang on. There's a new mesoscale convective discussion. Two of them here. Let's look at this latest one. Yes. So here you go. 22Z, that was 8 minutes ago. A significant severe wind risk is increasing with these merging supercells. Bow echo may develop. We're watching that happen in lifetime. Produce a derecho with peak gusts in the 80 to 100. Multiple supercells with reported severe hail across the southeastern Texas panhandle beginning to merge. Multiple West Texas mesonet stations are reporting peak 10-meter gusts in roughly the 60 to 75-mile-an-hour range. This trend should continue if these storms successfully morph into a bow echo, which they are. While
Yeah.
supercells have occurred downstream, it does not appear large-scale tropospheric overturning has occurred. A very unstable warm sector proceeds to upscale growing storms with 300 to 500 ml cape and 50 knots of effective bulk shear being common by as shown by the 00Z Frederick observed, or not Fort Worth, Dallas observed sounding. The effective bulk shear vectors are oriented roughly orthogonal to the merging line, which will further encourage bow echo development. Assuming bow echo development ensues over the next few hours, a strong cold pool should encourage intense rear inflow jet development, which upon downward momentum transport will support a derecho, could support a derecho. In this scenario, widespread 60 plus sustained winds may be expected, with multiple embedded gusts peaking somewhere in the 75 to 100-mile-an-hour range. The derechos to begin somewhere in the 01 to 03Z period, last for several hours downstream with the evolution, which may need to be covered with a downstream PDS severe thunderstorm watch across much of north central and northeast Texas. So that's just verifying what we've been watching in real time. Our vigilant folks at the SPC are noting the same thing. They're watching this set up. That clear slot is becoming increasingly clear. That is your cold pool forming, and it is setting up your rear inflow jet. Like they were saying, with by 01 or to 03Z, which will be in the next 30 minutes to 2.5 hours, the derecho will be formed. It's already been forming rapidly. It's progressing rapidly away from Crowell, and we could be seeing some big time action here in the next 2 hours or so. Our recording software has a limit on how much we can record. We've only got 6 minutes left on the clock, so we're going to have to be jumping off of here. But on Facebook, and we will continue to put posts and updates on YouTube as well. We will be keeping you guys posted as this derecho forms. I know you guys are going to be seeing this in the past tense, but eventually we'll get all the wrinkles sorted out to where we can share this in real time. We tried to set up a live earlier with Radar Scope. Radar Scope crashed while we were operating it remotely, and that was that. We may try to set up a YouTube live. We'll see with the derecho mode. Not 100% sure on that, but we may try that as well tonight. We will see. Thanks, everyone. Caleb, did you have anything you wanted to add to this?
Get ready, folks. These wins with these supercells, so downdraft production has already been a very strong thing today. Some of these supercells have produced 90-mile-per-hour winds. A center pivot irrigation system was toppled and tossed. So we are seeing not only a high magnitude of wind gusts, but also duration, because those are extremely heavy. They are fairly, thin poles, and they don't catch a lot of wind. So for those to tip and be tossed, you're talking about a long duration wind gust event. So be ready, guys. This is going to be serious. This is going to pack quite a punch as it moves into the more populated areas of Texas.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Without further ado, we're going to get off of this session. We're going to save it, get it uploaded, and start posting live updates on Facebook. You guys have a blessed evening. Stay safe out there. Florida Man does weather is out.